This is the story of a boy who gains superpowers from an ant bite. Pero was an ordinary kid, not too smart, not too different, just like everyone else. He secretly liked Amanda, the most beautiful girl in his class. But since he had no presence at all, Amanda probably didn't even know he existed. One day after school, William, the class nerd, was being beaten up by a pair of twins. Out of nowhere, Pero threw an apple at them from behind. William was saved, but now the twins turned their attention to Pero. Running for his life, Pero dashed into the courtyard of a strange house. The twins stopped because they knew how dangerous that house was. Pero, unaware of its dark story, just wanted to hide. Inside, a huge ant quietly crawled into his clothes and bit him on the neck. Suddenly, he felt dizzy, and just before fainting, he saw a man in a hat standing in front of him. When he woke up, it was already night. Annoyed, he skipped dinner and went straight to bed. But at midnight, his stomach growled. The next morning, he woke to find cake crumbs on his face and snack wrappers scattered on the floor, though he had no memory of eating them. Pero still didn't realize his body had changed. But when he picked up a carton of milk, his palm stuck to it like a suction cup. No matter how hard he tried, it wouldn't come off. Then he noticed his strength had increased too. A light touch shattered a glass, and at school he accidentally broke a door handle. William witnessed all this. Being a huge superhero fan, he already believed that superpowers and superheroes were real. When he saw Pero break the handle, he was shocked and thrilled. Later, during PE class, the teacher mocked Pero as the weakest kid and called him forward. But with one punch, Pero sent the teacher flying several meters away. Watching in secret, William became certain Pero had superpowers. He wanted to know where those powers came from. Like Captain America had secret experiments. After understanding everything, William took Pero out for social practice. A superhero with special powers was supposed to uphold justice and protect people from a young age. But when Pero actually faced a thief for the very first time, he realized he simply lacked courage. The thief, seeing him as just a little kid, decided to make fun of him, maybe even teach him a small lesson, so he'd quickly learn how dangerous the world and its people could be. Pero kept stepping back until his back hit the wall, leaving him nowhere else to retreat. But just then, the thief noticed something unusual. This little kid was actually climbing the wall. For the first time, Pero saw fear flash in the thief's eyes. Without hesitation, he lunged forward and overpowered him. And just like that, his first mission, though clumsy, was completed. William was thrilled with his performance. However, when Pero later tried using his powers again, he discovered that his hands no longer stuck to surfaces. In truth, even heroes need energy to maintain their powers. Too much rescuing had drained his energy. Without sugar, he was nothing more than an ordinary boy. Seeing this weakness, William modified his suit. He added a communicator, a belt, and even strapped chocolate to it so that Pero could recharge his powers anytime he needed. With a good partner, half the burden gets lighter. From then on, Pero saved many people, sometimes accident victims, sometimes kids trapped in fires, and in many other dangerous situations. Under the name Antboy, he quickly became famous across the country. Children in every school started seeing him as their hero, even his crush, Amanda. But Antboy's true identity remained secret. At school, nobody knew that the real hero was Pero himself, which meant he still had to put up with the bullying of the twin brothers as always. Luckily, William was there to help him when things got too hard. Gradually, Pero's confidence started growing. He could no longer. This antibody had the potential to cure many human diseases. He developed it into a vaccine called Elishin and tested it first on his mother, who was suffering from cancer. After receiving the vaccine, her tumor began to shrink rapidly. But Amanda's father, in order to cut costs, abruptly shut down his research. He begged them to let him continue, but the only response he got was, "Stop pestering me like a flea." In the end, his mother didn't survive for long. Her death broke him completely, and he began plotting revenge. His method was unusual. Instead of targeting others, he decided to transform himself. If Pero could become an ant-human, then he would become a flea man. The flea-like abilities even cured his arthritis. Now he could leap 3 feet high, but his strength came only from sucking blood. This made Pero realize a harsh truth. People loved Antboy, not him. Even Amanda only admired Antboy. Even William was friends with him only because of his superpowers. Inside, he was still nothing, just an empty boy. Meanwhile, sirens wailed outside. The flea escaped. After this, Pero's confidence shattered. He had failed to rescue Amanda, and now he doubted himself completely. Only William kept encouraging him, insisting he could defeat the flea. But Pero wouldn't listen. The flea, determined to continue his revenge, decided his first step was to eliminate Antboy. So he attacked Pero's school. Pero's first reaction? To run away. William, who had no superpowers, still carried the dream of becoming a hero. When he couldn't convince Pero, he stepped up himself. He wore Antboy's helmet and went to confront the flea. His weapon was nothing more than insect spray. It seemed weak, but still, he took real action and even managed to save a girl. Inspired by William's courage, Pero returned. But by then, William had already fallen into the flea's hands. His belt's chocolates had run out too, leaving him powerless. Luckily, there was a vending machine.